conspiracy theorist? It's hard for anybody to answer that question, isn't it? Because I write about these things and it's fiction. And I don't actually think I am a conspiracy theorist. If I am, I don't think it's my fault or responsibility, because I absolutely 100% blame Agent Mulder and Scully and Mulder. So for those of us who are old enough to remember the X-Files, I loved it. I was addicted to it. I could not watch enough of the X-Files, and it was way more interesting than Netflix series. And it was all about alien conspiracy and cover-up and everything. And I drank it up like a dried out sponge. I loved the X-Files. Did you like the X-Files? Let me know if you've seen the X-Files. If you haven't, you need to. Or if you remember them and loved it. So if I'm a conspiracy theorist, it's the X-Files' fault. It's Scully and Mulder. They made me like this because I grew up questioning everything. Well, is that real? Is that being done? Is that not? Does that make me a conspiracy theorist? No, it makes me an intelligent, educated businesswoman who doesn't just swallow everything that's drip-fed to me by people trying to make money. And I will question and use my own intelligence and education to ascertain who's lying to me, who's conning me, why they've got a vested interest in doing that, i.e. leaking stuff to newspapers because they get 200 grand. I still can't get over that for a photo or a false story. And they don't care whether it's a rumour or not because they just make loads of money. It's quick, easy cash, isn't it? You get people scamming you for a mobile phone or a number or a bit of petty cash. Whereas actually the paparazzi and that, they're in a good deal. It's like, flipping heck, I can't even earn that in a year. And I'm on a good salary. It's like, good grief. So I'm educated. I make my own decisions. And if I am a conspiracy theorist, it's Scully and Mulder's fault. However, I think I'm just an author and I make my fiction fun. And I also twist an element of reality in there in order to do that. And I love it. I really like it. So I'm not just going to sit by and watch everything because, understandably, things have to be held from the general public. Everybody's educated at different levels and not everyone can cope with everything. But if I put a video out here, i.e. who am I, and I'm talking from an alien's perspective, it doesn't mean I'm that alien. I'm doing an author thing where I'm saying, who am I? And then I'm playing that character for a video. So whether you think I'm a conspiracy theorist or not, you will never really truly know because I'm never going to tell you. And what you need to do is try and figure out what I'm doing as an author or a character or a conspiracy theorist, if that's what you want to call it. But I don't like, that word has been weaponized recently. So anyone who questions anything is apparently a conspiracy theorist. And I'm not fond of that term and the way it's been used to humiliate and put people down at all. But if it comes to things like the X-Files and aliens, and you know, I write about aliens, come on, I write about aliens, then yes, absolutely, 100%, whether you call me a conspiracy theorist or not, there are information and there are aliens and we're not allowed to see it. And I know this. And that's just the way it is. And I don't think that makes me a conspiracy theorist. It makes me a very educated science fiction author who has done a lot of research, knows a lot of stuff, doesn't know everything. The more I learn, the less I know. And Scully and Mulder, they ruined me. And it's mostly Mulder's fault, not Scully. She's a beautiful woman. But Mulder, he's just dreamy, isn't he? Oh, I had such a crush on him growing up. Do you know what? I'm 50 this year. I still have a crush on that man. I would marry him in a nanosecond if I got the choice. So Mulder, here if you need anyone. Absolutely massive crush on him all through my teenage and young adult years. And so, yeah, he ruined me. He turned me into this because I loved him. I never missed an episode. And I'm actually going to go and have a look and buy the entire series and introduce my children to it because I did that with friends a couple of years with them in the lockdown, and they need to know about the V and about the X-Files now. So that is going to be our education at home going forward. I just love all these things. And do I believe they're all real or not real? No, it's a mix of everything, isn't it? And you look at what's going on around you now. Whatever you believe in, there is a mix of rubbish and truth in everything. And whatever you look at, so if you want to say, is a glass of wine good for me? You will find a good answer that it is and a good answer that it isn't. And if you want to say, is this true? Is that anything you think about or look at, you will find opposing arguments. So it's impossible sometimes to know what is true and what isn't true. So, yeah. I don't like the word being weaponised, and I quite frankly blame Mulder. So, is anyone like me? Did anyone else fancy Mulder or Scully? I think I may have fancied them both, but I certainly had a massive crush on Mulder. Isn't he just the most gorgeous guy ever? And actually, my children were talking about this the other day, who they fancy versus who I fancy. And of course, everyone I fancy is now like 30 years older than them. And everyone they fancy just looks like little babies to me. So it was really hard finding men that me and my daughter and I both found attractive. So the generations have changed. But if you're like me, let me know. Did you fancy Mulder? Because I thought he was the most drop-dead, sexy, gorgeous man that was ever born to this planet. Let me know your thoughts.